The All-Star team, welcome back.
Thanks for having us.
Also, Lisa Gulliver, owner of ShowHomes, thank you so much for joining us. So you're going to help us more extend the information on marketing, staging properties, getting more bang for your buck. So good stuff. Great panel to finish the show here. So you were on the radio show this week. Great job.
I was. Thank you.
Yeah, we got some good response out of that. Yeah. So we framed it as, you know, what's happening in the market, right? And then what do you need to do with your marketing? Because right now you have this marketplace where people are used to getting so many offers on their home. Yeah. Now, a little bit more spaced out. So where do you find that right price? Where you price too high? It's tough, probably tough to gauge. So what do you do right now?
It is, and all it is like we talked about on the radio, it really is about having a marketing plan set up. No longer gone are the days that you just put a sign in the yard and there's nothing else that you need to do in regarding to marketing and just putting on the multiple listing service. You need to really have a strategy behind it.
Yeah, and what about as far as the market goes? I mean, I've heard things like it's getting to a more normal market, a more traditional market versus last year was nuts. We don't need to look backwards, but this year now, when we say, is it a normal market? Are we pulling back? What do you think, Glenn?
Yeah, we've definitely pulled back from where we were last year, and it's coming back to a traditional market where, like Shannon said, you don't just put a sign in and the property sells. You actually need to market the property. It's all about the exposure, the positioning, the pricing of the home. There's a whole strategy that goes into effectively selling your property, not only selling it, but getting top dollar and making sure that you're not leaving money on the table.
Well, if you're a buyer right now, we talked with Jonathan Giroux earlier, you have ridiculously low interest rates, but now you have more time. You know, we knew people that were buying last year that were making offers on homes that they hadn't even seen. That's not good.
It was ridiculous,
Yeah, so that's not good. So at least you have more time as a buyer, right? And you never lost the low interest rates. Interest rates have remained low, so they're annual lows. Literally this week they hit a 2014 low. So I think the buyer's in a really, really good spot right now.
Absolutely.
Right? I mean, doesn't that make sense to you guys?
Absolutely.
All right, so on the seller side, though, we got to look at, you know, what you're going to get. So buyer side, it's the cost of home ownership. The seller side, it's the price. What can we get for price? So Lisa, you help Glenn and Shannon get more bang for the buck. I'll let Shannon tee up. How does she help you?
Oh, Lisa's been just instrumental in helping us really kind of, again, going into that property and seeing what the buyers are going to see first and setting the stage work for it. You've been great in as far as your taste and color palettes and everything else that you do.
Thank you. Thanks so much.
So real estate's still a very emotional buy. You know, I mean, there's a lot of noise out there, a lot of reports and interest rates, and we've done it a lot even on this show. But when it comes down to it, when you're buying something, the show's called The American Dream. You're going to buy a place that you're going to live in. You're going to build memories. So the staging, you got to paint a picture here, right? So there's a couple strategies that you have with helping to paint that picture of the home.
Right, because the real estate market is so competitive, you really have to make the interior of the home stand out. So when a buyer's walking through the property, they're going to be impressed, they're going to get emotionally connected. And so we don't only just go in and stage the property to make it look like a model home, but what we're really trying to do is take it up a notch. So extreme marketing, basically, where we're actually putting home managers into the home. We have members of our team that live in the home, and they're preparing the home every day with cleaning and making it the right temperature and the right, nice smells and the ambiance, right? We leave the music on and we leave the lights on for showing, so they're going to get their absolute best showing every time a buyer prospective walks in the door.
So you've coined this one home managed staging.
Right.
Is that correct? And actually we can see it right here. So these are some of the things that it's going to do for the property. Now, Glenn and Shannon, you guys see this actually affect the value?
Oh, absolutely. And what it is you look at, if you're comparing a vacant home, somebody walking into a vacant home in the evening that's dark, the blinds are closed, they can't envision what the property would show like or look like, versus you come in, the lights are on, music's on, candles lit, it shows bright, it's staged, so they're not wondering, how would this room set up, what does it look like? They see a home that shows in its best light. So absolutely, and we're seeing homes selling not only quicker, but selling for more money when they're properly staged like this.
So the home makeover, now you just described a vacant home, right? So what if I think of my parents who still own the house that I was raised in St. Louis, Missouri. If someone tells my dad that blue leather, pleather, or whatever couch downstairs needs to go, there's got to be a conversation around that. But it needs to go, right?
Lisa does that too very well and has that balance.
There's things that need to go. So explain the home makeover. First of all, why you do it, how it helps the value, and then I'd love to hear from Glenn and Shannon how you would talk to my dad in a situation like this.
Right, the home makeover is so important because all of us as homeowners, we collect too much stuff and we have those heirlooms that we can't part with and things like that. So I come in and we rearrange the entire home to really make everything look like it's benefiting the house. So we have, move the furniture, rehang the pictures, we bring in pillows, bright pops of color, everything to really make the house look like a model home. But we're using the homeowner's furniture, so they aren't spending monthly rental fees and things like that. So it's
we
a
actually
very
have some of your work.
Oh,
my
great.
understanding, we have some of your work here that we're going to flash on screen. So just explain to us what you've done here.
Yes.
This is, my understanding, is a bedroom.
This is a before and after makeover that we did in Fairbanks Ranch that had been on the market for over a year. And so we came in and we did a makeover, used 98% of their own furniture. We brought in a few pieces. We helped them with new carpet, new paint to really update the home. And it's
Here's
sold
the living room.
And here's the living room, yes, which again, we pull things from every different part of the house to really, make each room shine. And this house, after we did the home makeover, after it had been on the market for a year, we did the makeover, it was sold in less than a month.
So I'm going to ask a very direct question. If I'm looking to sell my house, one of the things you're trying to do is get top dollar for your home, right? Why are you trying to get top dollar? Because that's the financial side of owning a home and owning real estate. Stuff's got to cost money. So how do you make it cost efficient where someone is willing to spend the money to do this? How does it work, I guess would be my question.
Yeah. Do you want to explain? Because it's your program with it, and there's a couple different options.
Yeah, so when we come into a home, we can make recommendations on updating, and the thing that I'm really looking at is the best return on investment. I'm not going to ask them to remodel the kitchen if they don't need to remodel the kitchen, if we can just do paint and spruce up with some accessories and things like that. The home manager staging on the vacant house side is very cost effective because they're not paying monthly rental fees with our home manager program. They pay at the close of escrow, and it's extremely cost effective. So we have a couple different programs that people can sell their house for top dollar without a big investment.
So you can even roll part of it into the deal.
Absolutely.
See, that's the way to go about it, I would say.
And every client that we've worked with on this program, they're seeing a return on that money. You're putting a few dollars after getting top dollar for the price. National Association of Realtors even did a study, and I think it was 8-to-1 return on money spent for staging. Yeah, so it's money very well spent on a property, and we recommend it, and with every property we list.
So how do you determine where you spend the money?
Yeah.
Right. I think I gave this example before when you guys were on the show on radio that when I sold my car, had some dents in it. I had some things that needed to be fixed up, and my friend who buys and sells cars was like, don't worry about it. Just sell it as is. Real estate's a little bit different. So how do you determine where's the smart place to put the money? Where do you get the 8-to-1?
Definitely with the staging, whether it's with their own furniture or with a staging company's furniture. And like I said, the home manager program is a much less expensive way to do it. But you definitely want to put the money into the things that are going to make it shine. It doesn't have to be tearing out bathrooms and kitchens. And
the reason you guys do all of this is obviously to get more out of it. So you provided us some numbers here on some homes that were vacant versus having a home manager. So what are we looking at here?
Yeah, these two are home managed homes where they were on the market for 147. One was on the market 147 days after we staged it. It sold in 25 for very close to the list price. The other one was on the market for 84 days, and we sold it actually at $20,000 over the list price in 4 days. So really, you can do so much with just some color and some bright accessories and artwork and things like that.
Well,
it really makes it desirable, much more desirable.
Shannon, no one has explained yet how you would tell my dad that he's got a funky couch.
Well, what I say is I always tell our clients I wouldn't be explaining that, Glenn would.
Oh, got it. Put it on Glenn.
And then when it comes to me, I'd say, you know what, Lisa's our staging professional,
that's what
and
you're
Lisa's
bringing
going
a professional for.
And we just explained to them, though, that, you know what, you've got to take out the ties, the personal ties to it. Now we've got to look at it as a buyer. You've got to look at it with the buyer's perspective. And now we need to make sure that the home shows in its best light. That's why we have a professional we work together with that's going to be able to give us the advice on how to do that.
We're
You
seeing
guys
it through
did
the buyer's eyes.
over 100 deals last year,
Yeah.
probably the same numbers this year. How many of those homes that when you're selling them, what percentage plus or minus do you try and do the staging on?
Now, with the traditional market, 100% of them, we recommend at least a consultation and the walkthrough, because each home has different levels, where there's some where it can be real minimal, just palette or the color palettes, you know, rearranging some furniture, taking out some personal effects, where some it can be a vacant home and we need to do it all. So it just depends on the home. But we recommend at least a consultation and walkthrough on all of them.
Well, it makes perfect sense, but it also makes sense why this might get ignored by your competition, right? You know, it seems like this is an extra step. It's an extra part of the process. But if you look at the real examples of a home moving quicker, I think we saw 147 days to 25 or getting a higher dollar figure. Whatever small investment, especially if it's rolled into the end of the deal, certainly seems like it would make sense. So love the strategy. Glenn and Shannon, thanks for helping us understand the market. Lisa, thanks for helping us understand the marketing. You guys are a great team. If you want to connect with our good friends here, top producers, they got an amazing website. There's a lot of resources here. If you want to get a free property valuation, if you are a buyer or a seller, you want to check out some cool videos that they have. Glenn and Shannon are the best. AllianceGroupRE.com. I encourage you to reach out this weekend, get some information. Thanks, guys.
Thanks
Awesome
again.
panel.
That's great.